Who knew that Microsoft pulling their Project xCloud public beta and having a statement exchange with Apple over their App Store policies would be a contributing proponent for Epic Games to step up to Apple? It's practically become a battle royale. On one side you have Apple and its restrictive App Store policies, battling against Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, and now Epic Games, along with gamers everywhere over the freedom to play and do what they want on their iOS devices. This battle royale gonna get good. Before we do that, guys, hit that like button, because liking these videos lets me know that you love them. Hit the subscribe notification bell so you miss any videos just like this one. Let's get to the news. Yesterday it was reported that Epic began to offer its Fortnite players a direct payment option for its V-Bucks in its Fortnite games for Android and iOS to get around Apple's App Store fees. In an article from PhoneDog.com, details surrounding this news states that buying V-Bucks with an Epic direct payment would offer savings compared to buying through Apple App Store or Google Play Store. For example, 1,000 V-Bucks would cost $9.99 when buying through Apple or Google, but you could get them for $7.99 using the Epic direct payment. This was meant as a way for Epic to get around the 30% cut that Apple and Google normally take from in-store app purchases. Epic explicitly confirmed this, describing the fee that Apple and Google collect from in-store app purchases as exorbitant, and saying that if Apple and Google lower their fees, Epic will pass those savings on to consumers. In retaliation, Apple and Google have removed Fortnite from the App Store and Play Store. In a statement to The Verge, Apple explains that Epic Games took the unfortunate step of violating the App Store guidelines that are applied equally to every developer and designed to keep the store safe for our users. As a result, their Fortnite app has been removed from the store. Epic enabled a feature in its app which was not reviewed or approved by Apple, and they did so with the express intent of violating the App Store guidelines regarding in-app payments that apply to every developer who sells digital goods or services. Epic has had apps on the App Store for a decade and had benefited from the App Store ecosystem, including its tools, testing, and distribution that Apple provides to all developers. Epic agreed to the App Store terms and guidelines freely, and we're glad they've built such a successful business on the App Store. The fact that their business interests now lead them to push for a special arrangement does not change the fact that these guidelines create a level playing field for all developers and make the store safe for all users. We'll make every effort to work with Epic to resolve these violations so they can return Fortnite to the App Store. Shortly after Apple and Google pulled Fortnite from the App Store and Play Store, Epic filed a lawsuit against both Apple and Google. The company says that it's filed the legal papers in order to end Apple's unfair and anti-competitive actions, that they are used to unlawfully maintain its monopoly in two markets: the iOS app distribution market and the iOS in-app payment processing market. The full lawsuits against both Google and Apple will be linked in the descriptions below. This recent issue involving Apple and Epic and now Google comes after Microsoft and Apple recently traded statements over Microsoft pulling their public beta for their Project xCloud for iOS due to Apple's App Store policies. I covered this news more in depth in a previous video, but I'll link it in the description below. But here's a recap of the statements between Microsoft and Apple. Microsoft's Project xCloud for the Game Pass Ultimate Service launches on September 15th, and Microsoft intended to launch xCloud on both Android and iOS, with it having a public preview available to certain iOS users. The public preview, which ended on August 5th, the same day as the Samsung Unpacked event, had 10,000 testers who were able to try out Project xCloud on iOS, but were only able to play one game, Halo the Master Chief Collection. This was different compared to Android testers who were able to test a wide variety of games on the service. In a statement to The Verge about the ending of the iOS public preview, our Project xCloud preview test flight period has ended on iOS, and we are focused on delivering cloud gaming as part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to Android customers beginning September 15th. It's our ambition to scale cloud gaming through Xbox Game Pass available on all devices. Apple has very strict limits on remote desktop clients, meaning that apps are only allowed to connect to a user-owned host device or game console owned by the user. Both the host device and client must be connected on a local network too. It's worth noting that both Google Stadia and NVIDIA GeForce Now do not have game streaming for iPhones and iPads, more than likely for the same reasons as Microsoft. In response to Microsoft, Apple made a statement to Business Insider explaining that the issue with Xbox Game Pass on iOS stems from the fact that Apple isn't able to review each game that's available through Game Pass. The App Store was created to be a safe and trusted place for customers to discover and download apps, and have a great business opportunity for all developers. Before they go on our store, all apps are reviewed against the same set guidelines that are intended to protect customers and provide a fair and level playing field to developers. Our customers enjoy great apps and games from millions of developers, and gaming services can absolutely launch on the App Store as long as they follow the same set of guidelines applicable to all developers, including submitting games individually for review and appearing in charts and search. In addition to the App Store, developers can choose to reach all iPhone and iPad users over the web through Safari and other browsers on the App Store. So basically the issue is because Microsoft isn't submitting each game on Xbox Game Pass to Apple for review, the app itself is being blocked from publishing. In response to Apple's response, a Microsoft spokesman spoke to The Verge and said, "Our testing period for the Project xCloud preview app for iOS has expired expired. Unfortunately, we do not have a path to bring our vision of cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to gamers on iOS via the Apple App Store. Apple stands alone as the only general-purpose platform to deny customers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass, and it consistently treats gaming apps differently, applying more lenient rules to non-gaming apps even when they include interactive content. All games available in the Xbox Game Pass catalog are rated for content by independent industry rating bodies such as the ESRB and regional equivalents. We are committed to finding a path to bring cloud gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to the iOS platform. We believe that customers should be at the heart of the gaming experience, and gamers tell us that they want to play, connect, and share anywhere, no matter where they are. Now, all this comes after Apple's Tim Cook had to go before Congress and answer questions surrounding antitrust claims against its Apple App Store policies. The congressional hearing, which took place back in July, had head executives from Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google answering questions about antitrust claims and their policies. A Washington Post article states that Cook, the head of Apple, received fewer questions than his counterparts, but several lawmakers peppered him with questions about the way the company handles its App Store and the companies that have developed competing products or services that Apple also offers. Some lawmakers repeatedly raised the company's policy to take up a 30% commission in-app sales and subscriptions, a fee that has chafed prominent companies including Spotify, who appear they have no chance but to surrender critical revenue to Apple. Apple maintains that the fee essentially funds the entire Apple ecosystem, and Cook told lawmakers that the company has not raised its rate since it opened the store in 2008. The lawmakers later produced a document showing one of Apple's executives, ADQ, in 2011 had proposed requiring developers to pay more. They posted it online while in a hearing. Cook generally stressed that Apple has had no desire to harm developers. "We do not retaliate or bully people," he said. "It is strongly against our company culture." So Apple does not retaliate, huh? Well, then what do you call what's going on with Epic? Now, I understand that Epic basically pulled a no-no and did what you'd practically do in any relationship. You would ask for forgiveness after you know what you did was wrong. But I think it's ironic that all this stuff is starting to come to head. You have the congressional hearings, you have Microsoft giving statements about how it's not fair what they're doing, and now you have Epic just being like, you know what, we're not going to give statements per se, we're just going to do. I think that Apple is in a position where you have all of these major players saying what you're doing is not right. And I know that Google is also involved to some extent, but I think with Google, this is kind of like, well, Apple did it, so we have to do it too, because you did violate our policy and, you know, I got to punish you. But I think what's different with Google is, I think with the Google thing will be easier resolved. With Apple, I think that Apple loves to have control, and a lot of people know that. So I think it's going to be harder for Apple to just say, you know what, we'll let you do this and just move on. I know a lot of people play Fortnite. A lot of people play Fortnite on their phone, and iPhone has a good chunk of the market. So what I don't understand is why Apple would make this big of a move and say, you know what, we're just going to ban the app. Now, I know that you already have the app on your phone, so you're good. So a lot of that is okay. But for new players, I mean, it's not right. I honestly stand with Epic in this situation. I know that there's been polls on Twitter saying, who do you stand with? Do you stand with Epic? Do you stand with Apple? Do you stand with none of them? I mean, do you get behind Apple's App Store policies? I do acknowledge that Epic did not do what the guidelines said. I do acknowledge they went against guidelines and therefore are being punished by the guidelines. I get that. I'm not disputing that at all. What I'm saying is they did it intentionally, I think, to set a message. They're trying to set a precedent. They're basically saying, we're not going to take it anymore. And I think that because of that, it's going to get people talking, and it's going to get the right people talking, maybe not right away, but it's going to be noticed. And I think that because of all that, policies probably will change. At least that's the goal in mind. I guess one of the things I was kind of confused about this is, what is the difference of me playing Fortnite on my phone, and instead of buying something through the, you know, built-in game purchase, which go to 30% for Apple, what's the difference of me just going to a web browser, loading up my Epic account, and loading money through that to get V-Bucks? Now, I know in that statement that Apple gave to Microsoft, it did mention the same thing, that developers can use Safari, but still it's within the App Store policy guidelines, which is kind of confusing because Safari is not, well, I guess Safari is an app on the phone. Is that really considered in-app purchases? I know it's kind of tricky. I mean, if I go to a website and I'm buying something through that website, am I actually purchasing something through the app? I don't think that's how that works. So if I were to use the Fortnite app and I get a link that takes me to a Safari browser to basically sideline the App Store, is that possible? I'm not sure. I do know that these lawsuits actually do get picked up and are going to go to court. It's going to be really interesting to see, given the recent congressional hearings, just what a judge would have to say about the Apple App Store policies. If a judge thinks that they're not unlawful, because I don't think that they're unlawful per se, but what I guess is if they agree with what Congress Congress is trying to say in their hearings and basically come to the same conclusion that everybody else is trying to say, hey, Apple, quit being so controlling, be more fair. I wonder if that's really going to happen. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's crazy that this is coming to head. I know that Fortnite is probably not the best game for most people. Why couldn't it be PUBG or one of the, other competitors, of course? But Epic's got billions of dollars, so I'm sure they're not really worried about it, and they have way other many platforms that players can get to their games. So right now, they're okay. I'm actually rooting for them. I have an iPhone. I'm in the Apple ecosystem. I'm in a ton of ecosystems, but when it comes to this stuff, if it's been like that since 2008, I think it's time to reevaluate. Oh, that rhymed. 2008, reevaluate. Gonna put that on a shirt. Below in the comments below what you think about this issue. Who do you stand with? What side of the Battle Royale are you on? Are you on Apple, in the parentheses Google? Are you with Microsoft and Google and NVIDIA and, whoever else, Epic? Are you with the gamers or are you with the company? Below in the comments below. That's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos just like this one, hit the subscribe notification bell. And I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.